So, Tata Erick, we had talked about divine, and you mentioned the calendar in your prayer today being the day of initiation. I'm wondering if you could talk a little more about direct connection with divine. Is it really possible for everyone to have a direct connection with divine? Would you speak about that a little, please?
Yeah, thank you for asking. This is something that when we go into the initiations, they introduce us to what is sacred, and it starts happening that everything is in the body of the sacredness, and so as we witness human behavior, we're reminded that to observe, and see what happened to us. How come we do the things we do that today we think is normal, but it's totally unthinkable in many of the ceremonial circles, or it's unthinkable within the consciousness of the trees or the water or all of our relations to witness what we do to them. And so all of us were born with this divineness. We have it inside of us. And it's nowhere to have fault, because we were indoctrinated to believe in these expressions of human, religions and social and governmental and political, and we have now we see when we got separated from this divine relationship with creation, with nature, with ourselves, with our families, we see the results. We see devastation all across the earth, and wars are coming up more and more, and so the stress on humanity, the stress on the earth, the stress on all the that we consider divine, it's very powerful. It's extreme, and so it will take it takes a toll on life. It takes an incredible challenge for us to start searching what is divine, what is sacred. And so through the Mayan or indigenous ceremonies, through the work we call it our sacred activities, is to show us again, so for us to witness what is sacred, to feel it, to sense it, to really acknowledge, and then to start loving it. There's this love that comes up from understanding what divine is. So it's all of us, and we can we can reach it, and we can become it again. It takes an incredible amount of courage, strength, determination, deliverance, the power to let go, the power to surrender. Doesn't mean we give up. Give up is something foreign to us. But we surrender to the divine. We surrender to the Creator. We surrender to the nature. So we start learning what the gifts are being given to us by the air, through the trees, through the water evaporation. We see the water giving us life. We see the fire in the sky giving us life. We see the earth giving us life. And so we start having this reverence for this, reverence for everything. If we understand how each blade of grass is connected to us and connects to the sun and all the relatives up on the sky, we know then that we're inside the body of the Creator. And so to keep doing what humanity is doing, what we are all doing to sicken and disrupt the natural flow of life is what we are talking about, how to get back to that divine relationship. So for us, it's through reverence, through prayer, through sacred activities that we call them like the sacred rites of passage. This is where the faith keepers, the medicine people remind us that this is a natural process that we're going through. It has emotional implications, it's got mental implications, it's got spiritual implications. And so as we put it all together, we start having this relationship again. And so, but, again, it takes a strong warrior. A warrior without weapons, a warrior without hatred and fears and, personal agendas. It's about us, totally becoming the spirit again. But it takes incredible amount of effort now and a lot of prayer.
And Erick, how do you feel, why do you think people have forgotten their connection? What is it that you feel keeps people from recognizing their own connection with the spirits and the deities and the divine energies of the world? And you mentioned, the abuse to the land and the abuse to the world around us. Is that connected? Does that abuse come from having lost our connection with divine?
Yeah, we believe so. It's if we understood it, something is sacred, how can we kill it, for no reason? Or that we became well, let me go back. We are inheriting thousands of years of arrogance, humanity's arrogance, and the ignorance about our arrogance. And sometimes we're arrogant about our ignorance. So we have created this science beliefs, these political beliefs, these religious beliefs that we're above all that lives in this world, that we're above, the trees and the waters, and we never, but it wasn't all the world. There's still indigenous people all around the earth that continue to have earth wisdom, spiritual wisdom throughout the world. There's little pockets left because we somewhere along we shadowed that which was sacred. We were indoctrinated into these religious beliefs and indoctrinated into political ways and separated, like, by religions or races or these geographical separations that we have. A bird doesn't have a border. Humans shouldn't have a border. The land is for all people. The original instructions were that Creator gave us all what we needed and the gifts that we could sustain ourselves for eternity. All the time that humans could be alive, it was all is there. But we got greedy. We got arrogant. And so we started trying to control the masses, trying to enslave them, trying to destroy the world. When we saw, they said that they came across the United States, this land we call Ayala. When they came across the land, it was an incredible, fertile, abundant land, trees of all kinds, and so you could drink the waters from all the springs and the lakes, and because the people were still in relationship with it. But they were considered to be animals, and worse than animals, a threat to that arrogance that people in different parts of the world had lost. And so with those ideas, now we have inherited that manifest destiny. It's not just one race coming across the land and claiming everything under God's instructions. Now we know what that leads to. It's a world in disorder. And so as we humans claim the power over the nature, and we kill the animals by the millions, and a lot of species disappear, looking for the gold, looking for the wealth, and so they devastated this land, and they went over there to Africa and other places. This kind of thing is spread through the world. So that's what we are inheriting now. And so as we awaken and we say, hey, this is not right, I don't want to be part of that, and we make our spiritual declarations, whatever that is for each one. It says, Mother Earth, I don't want to be part of this. You know, I'm sorry that I'm inheriting this, and I want to take the courage to change. And as nature starts to say, hey, I'm going to activate the third element, you know, to the humans, because, you know, we're going to need to bring harmony and cleansing again. So that's what nature's doing. Is whether we want to or not, nature's has been activated, and it's going to continue to manifest her powers until we finally get it that we are not in control, and that these things are sacred. And when you know, the old sayings, you know, whatever we do to the web of life, we do to ourselves. So we have poisoned the air, we poison the waters, we poison the foods, we poison the earth, we poison each other. Now our bodies are like that. We are sick, our minds are sick, our spirituals are sick. And so that's what we are inheriting. And so we have to understand that. And then we say, okay, now what can we do? Well, let's search for the pockets that are still trying to hold on to that connection, to that relationship. And when you find that, you'll see those elders, those spiritual leaders, they're always active in protecting the land, protecting the water, protecting the people, being these beings who are resisting the implications of the modern world in many ways, you know. And so it's hard, you know, it's hard to totally isolate now, but what we have to do is teach each other, unite, collaborate, cooperate, find the solutions together, and then join with that. And that's the passive resistance of many of our nations, that we knew we couldn't keep fighting because they would have killed everybody. So the passive resistance, like Gandhi and Martin Luther King, you know, that incredible persistence and dedication and this energy to say, this is not right, you know, and this is what we have to do to reflect upon this arrogance that, you know, is this equality for all human beings. It means all human beings, you know, not just the privileged ones or the ones who have the weapons, but if it says equality for all men, and then there's got to be women too. So the women have to do the same thing. So wait a minute, you know, men are created equal under the eyes of God, but what happened to the women? So all these things we have inherited. We have to heal ourselves. Like for us, we have to go in the sweat lodge to experience the elementals. We have to go and sit up all night and pray and watch the sky go by. You know, day in, day out. Sometimes we go a vision quest. Sometimes we go into long spiritual trainings to witness that, to become it. Then we start focusing on what we can do on the earth plane with our human family, because you know, that's where some of the problem is. And so as the world changes, as we get prepared to be given another opportunity for evolution, to go back to the spiritual connection, the spiritual relationship, that's kind of where there's so much good feelings from our nations of sharing and celebrating, because we know this was talked about for a long time ago, what they call prophecies.